This is our time, and yeah, we gon' shine. You better put your blockers on before you get blind. Wildcats gon' win. Yeah, we all in. This is our time, and yeah, we
Welcome back to another brand new edition of Sports Corner. I'm your host, Dominique Williams, and with me I have Felix Reyes Jr. and Timothy White Jr. On today's show, we'll be getting into our NCAA Men's Basketball Championship game. Did Andrew Harrison use a racial slur during post-game interview? Who's going to win the NBA Finals? Should Paul George have come back this season? But first, the madness has finally ended, and boy, did we have a lot of disappointment going into the championship game. What did you guys think about this past weekend with the game?
Man, I thought it was a great game, man.
It was really good.
Real great game. Came to the wire. I'm very disappointed in Kentucky for just destroying my bracket completely.
Definitely had them winning it all. They just didn't execute against Wisconsin down the stretch.
Couldn't execute.
Frank Kaminsky,
and Sam
Decker.
Those guys were nothing to be. They were a force to be reckoned with, nothing
Right.
to be played with.
And they definitely came through in the clutch. Well, their shooting was really good. They executed better than the young team.
It was ridiculous to me because I expected, Kentucky being like the #1 defense in the nation or something like that. You expect them to at least contain two guys. Right. It was just two guys. Couldn't do it.
And they couldn't do it. But I feel like their age kind of showed towards the end of the game where Wisconsin is an older team. They're loaded with seniors and juniors, and Kentucky has a lot of freshmen on their team. So throughout the season, Kentucky's been able to close out games, but in the big game against Wisconsin, where another team that has seniors and juniors, they just prevailed over them.
Well, moving on forward to the championship
The actual
game.
championship game.
Man, that jump was crazy. Excuse me. Man, that guy, Tyus Jones. 23 points, 5 rebounds. Killer daggers from the three-point line.
Right.
Hey, that man cold-blooded, man. He's cold-blooded. That guy got what it takes. Definitely. Look, man, he was the fourth in the most scored by a freshman in the national championship game. He's fourth. He's right above ever.
Like fourth ever?
Yeah, fourth ever in most points scored in the national championship game, right on top of Patrick Ewing.
Ooh.
So that says something.
Yeah, that does. That's a lot. That's big numbers right there.
Especially because on their team they played 4 freshmen. The freshmen really dominated this game.
They definitely
scored 60 points out of their
the team, 68.
Exactly. Shot 51% among the 4 of them.
And it's hard to beat a team who's shooting 50% over the course of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
And then coming off the bench, there was this kid, Grayson Allen. I don't know if you heard of him.
That boy caught fire.
Jacksonville, Florida.
That boy caught fire.
Yeah, he was really the X factor in the game off the bench, if you ask me.
Definitely brought him
they
back
were
in
a little,
winning.
They were a little lackadaisical, and then Grayson Allen came in and became fearless, driving to the basket, scoring points. He ended the game with 16 points, was 5 for 8, so a real efficient night. 5 for 5 from the free throw line. So, I mean, he really kept the team in it and gave him a little bit of momentum in that second half.
And you know what another thing was?
What?
That definitely prevailed due to this win. They basically shut down Sam Decker.
Yeah.
Pretty much contained him most of the game, especially from the perimeter, going 0 for 6 from the 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, threes is this guy's game.
Yeah.
So
Cause that's what kind of like shut down Kentucky.
And that shocked
Exactly.
me. That shocked me. I didn't expect Duke's defense to really, show
Right.
up.
Once
Yeah.
they become such a great defensive team.
Yeah, especially without Okafor due to his 4 fouls
Exactly.
early in the game.
Right, he was definitely hindered by foul trouble throughout the game.
Yeah, and Frank pretty much dominated him most of the game. Frank dropped 21 points on him. So
right, and 12 rebounds. So I mean, definitely had a big game.
He played a good game, but I guess Okafor showed up when he was needed with that and one. I don't know if you see him in the basket.
Right, he's a big kid, man.
Big guy.
He only averaged. He only ended up scoring 10 points because of the foul trouble and things like that. But it really helped that the refs didn't call that last foul on him. When he came back in with the last few minutes, he had 4 fouls, and you could tell that they weren't going to interject and call that 5th foul and
Which
put
also
their name on
caused
the
a
game.
lot of controversy
It
too.
did, but I mean, at the end of the day, what do the fans ask for the most? In the clutch game,
they want the players to decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, let
Not
the
the
guys
refs,
play.
yeah.
What do you always hear in the stands?
Exactly.
Let them play, man. Let them play.
This is
And
basketball.
the refs let 'em
It is
play.
a contact sport. It's basketball. Come on.
The refs let 'em play.
Right, but the refs did miss a few calls.
Yeah, they did.
Winslow stepped out of bounds, and he tipped the ball out of bounds that was actually given back to Duke. And the NCAA head of officiating, John Adams, admitted that the refs missed a few calls, and he even said that the refs did not see what the viewers saw. So you know how they always say the referees are seeing the exact views and camera angles that we're seeing at home.
That's not necessarily.
But that's not true.
And that's
always not true.
That's not good because, you know,
exactly.
The refs should be seeing
everything
more than the fans.
Yeah, I mean, you have, what, 3 refs on the court?
Right.
So you should be able to see every perimeter.
Here's the plot twist. CBS says that they did.
Oh.
So it's
that's
he said versus she said.
Okay.
Now it's word of
that's
mouth.
up to the cameraman then.
Exactly.
Get
And
it right. Get it right.
And
Get it right.
Adam said that he almost got up and stopped the game because he knew how big that play was. If you remember, right after they gave the ball back to Duke, that's when Tyus Jones hits that 3. Game's pretty much over.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I feel like they have an extra official at the game, sitting at the scorer's table, who's watching the game on the live feed. Why isn't he able to say, hey, I saw this camera angle, you guys need to try to figure it out?
So it's kind of like,
exactly.
was they trying to...
At the end of the day, it's really just a lack of communication from what you're saying.
Yeah, seems like it.
I feel like the other referee needs to be an active participant in the game, because that's the whole point of having replay, is to eliminate human error and get it right.
Definitely.
They definitely want to get it right, and it didn't happen. But Bo Ryan made comments after the game, saying that the refs miss calls, and the way that they practice, they always call if offensive foul if an offensive player jumps into a defensive player. But it kind of made him look like a sore loser, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely did. Don't blame the refs.
Right.
Come on now. That's like
you guys
that's like the
take
coach's
that loss.
bailout. Yeah, take the loss. Take
Exactly.
the loss.
Just come back next season and be prepared.
Exactly. Be proud that you got to the big dance.
I mean, you knocked out one of the best teams in the country.
undefeated team.
Like, come on, you ruined their season. Like, they were the ones to win, and you guys shut that team out.
Yeah, so don't be a sore loser about it. Come on now.
Right. It's okay to be upset, in my opinion, because, I mean, it was a big game. It was the biggest game of the year. You want your seniors to go out on a high note.
Exactly.
But, you could have just made the adjustment. You saw how the referees were calling the game. Make the adjustment for your players to be able to thrive in the situation that you're in. I mean, I'm sure you're a good coach. You're a great coach. Got your team to back-to-back Final Four. So I just don't see why you couldn't make that adjustment mid-game and help your team out.
Well, that's that. Duke won. Wisconsin lost.
Congrats to them guys.
Even though Kentucky should have been there. All right. The Wildcats suffered their first loss of the season due to stellar play of Wisconsin's Frank Kaminsky. And based on a comment made by Andrew Harrison, the team was still a little sore about the game. Kentucky Andrew Harrison apologizes for a racial slur uttered during post-game press conference video. What were your reactions to the comment, you guys?
It was bad. It was to me. It just was not smart. It wasn't the best choice of words at the time. Really, the best choice of words ever. I mean, you never want to say those type of words at a press conference. I don't believe that he figured his mic was off. He didn't know his mic was on. That's the excuse that he was given. But
I don't see why. You're at a live press conference.
Exactly.
Every mic is on.
Every mic is on. It doesn't make sense. If he wants to become a professional, like I'm pretty sure he wants to enter the draft and become an NBA player.
And this definitely hurt his draft stock.
Right. He has to begin to act like it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You don't see LeBron James out there muttering those type of words after a loss.
You don't see Dwayne Wade doing that.
Exactly.
You don't see Steph Curry doing that. Kyrie Irving.
Exactly.
You don't see the top tier guys in the league
Exactly.
doing stuff like this. So if you want to be that top tier guy, when you get in the league, follow suit now.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's not an excuse. The fact that you're young, and you're gonna make it's
okay
accepted
to make
that you're gonna make mistakes, but it's not an excuse for you making those mistakes.
Definitely.
So,
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I applaud him for he reached out and apologized to Frank Kaminsky right after he found out that they heard him say what he said, and but still, it's just not okay.
Because didn't he blame that the mic was on? He didn't know the mic was on.
Right.
Yeah.
But to me, that's still just an excuse.
And that's ridiculous because honestly, what you said was just pure ignorance, and it showed your ignorance.
Right.
And that's not good because first of all, the question that was asked wasn't directed towards you.
Exactly.
So they're asking about you dealing with Frank Kaminsky and his 7-foot stature and how hard is that to guard. And before you even let the guy finish, you just mutter, F that N-word. Come on now. And you're talking about a Caucasian player. So it just shows your ignorance. It was stupid. It wasn't the time or place. I understand your emotions were running high. But come on now, Andrew Harrison. You're a better person than that. It's not like this is your first year in college This is
Right,
your
Especially
Right,
at
last
the
year.
championship level
Yeah.
of the Final Four.
Exactly.
Like, this is
You're
your
a
second
sophomore,
appearance.
There's no excuse. And from what I've read in an article recently, he's actually good friends with Kaminsky.
Right.
So
I mean, why would you say that about your friend?
exactly. And I understand, things, like I said, he was, a little overly emotional about the situation because he just lost. Perfect season ended, all that kind of
But
stuff.
could we really say it's a racial slur even though it was towards to a white man?
Yes, because at the end of the day, you did use the N-word. The N-word is considered a racial slur when coming out of
A white
Asian
man.
person's mouth. So if it's coming out of a black person's mouth or African American, racial slur is either or.
How different would it be?
Yeah.
If Kaminsky was, if it roles were reversed and it was a white player that said
It would
that.
be definitely different.
Right.
And one of my professors actually brought that up in a class.
Right.
And one thing I said, we had to write a 1,000-word essay on it. One thing I said within that essay.
She said 1,000 words.
Yeah.
God.
1,000 words. Oh my
One thing I
gosh.
said within that essay though was that he would be looked at as like the most hated person in the planet due to the fact that the United States is already sensitive as it is on racism.
Yes.
And due to the fact that all these different things have been happening within the black community, like you got things like Trayvon Martin shootings,
the cop killers, and
the
all.
cop killers, the guys that are killing cops and the cops that are killing people.
Right.
And this is all happening within the black community. It would have been basically the icing on the cake to just make everybody go mad and go nuts and go crazy.
And cause another riot and all
Because
this.
Twitter already blew up, but if it was the opposite way around, they would have been in the streets protesting possibly
Definitely.
and calling for him to be expelled. So,
And you know what it would have reminded me of? I'm not sure if you guys remember, but it would have reminded me of Don Imus, the radio DJ a few years back that called the Rutgers women's basketball team nappy-headed prostitute.
Right.
So
can't really say the word, but you know what we're getting to.
Not a good look.
Well, let's just hope he learns from this lesson, this mistake. Like, it's a lesson learned from the mistake he made, and hopefully it won't hurt his draft stock if he does proceed to go into the pros. So, well, March Madness is now over with. Now, let the madness begin for April. So you know what that means. The NBA playoffs are back. Tip-off begins April 18. I know you're ready for this year's playoffs. We asked the students around campus who they think will win the NBA championship.
With another edition of Street Corner today, asking the students who you think is going to win the NBA Finals. With another edition of Street Corner today, asking the students who you think is going to win the NBA Finals.
I like Golden State Warriors because, they're a fresh young team and they're number one in the West right now.
I don't really care who wins because if it's not the Lakers, it doesn't matter.
I say Golden State. Why? Because Steph Curry, he light-skinned and he the man and he can shoot. Like, he's an inspiration to everybody.
I'm had to go with my man Stephen Curry because of what he did to my man Chris Paul. He made him take a seat for a little minute,
The Chicago Bulls.
Reason why?
Reason why is because we are very deep right now. And also Derrick Rose is coming back this week. So you already know we got the defense on lock. I don't think the Cavs is going to beat us. Atlanta's not ready. And then, Western Conference, there's no competition over there. So.
Man, I really don't know right now, man. It's fair game right now. I hear, about the Spurs. They doing pretty good. Golden State. And then, we got Bron, and, in Cleveland. So, I don't know. But right now, it's fair game right now.
I think the Spurs, again, if they go again, I think they'll make it.
The Golden State Warriors.
You got a reason why?
Only because I'm from Cali. That's basically why.
I like the Cavaliers to win.
You got a reason why?
No, LeBron James is just the best.
I want Oklahoma City to win because I like Russell Westbrook. He's a baller.
LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Got a reason why?
LeBron James.
I think the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors are going to meet each other in the finals. I think the Golden State Warriors are going to take it all the way. I think they're going to win. Even though the Cleveland Cavaliers have been doing good, Kyrie Irving and LeBron James have been playing as a team, but I don't think they can stop the Splash Brothers with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. But back to you guys at the studio.
Thank you, Martin. So we know who the students pick. Who are your picks?
They picked Bron.
Bron.
Look, that's not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick.
I definitely have the Bulls going if Rose could stay healthy. Keywords.
Healthy.
If Rose can stay healthy.
What was your logic statement? If and only if.
Because if Rose can stay healthy, boy, are they lethal. Because I'm telling you this, they got Derrick Rose. You got Jimmy Butler, who has the highest player efficiency rating on the team. You got Joakim Noah doing all the dirty work.
Pretty much.
And getting triple doubles in the process. He's capable of doing it. You got Pau Gasol, who has the veteran leadership and has the ring, so he can prevail them through the playoffs when it's time for crunch time. And, you know, things get a little hard. Guys get a little mentally frustrated.
Right.
He'll be there to be like, hey, guys, calm down. I've been through this before. And also, in the if the playoffs were today, this is how the bracket would actually be set up. They would go against the Bucks in the first round. You already know that's an easy sweep.
Right.
Get them out of here.
Hey.
Do that one more time.
Get them out of here. And definitely, but the only thing is, they would have to face the Cavs in the second round.
That should be an Eastern Conference.
I mean, but that'll be a good game. It'll get serious.
Definitely go.
I think the series would be like
7
it'll go. Nah, I think 6.
6?
Yeah,
6. I think 7. But that's just because of the
5
fact
or
that
6, depending who gets home court advantage.
To me, it all depends on not LeBron, not Kyrie, but JR and Shumpert, because that's their firepower coming off.
Pretty
the
much,
bench.
yeah, it is.
Everybody knows how J.R. Smith is, especially, and Shumpert are in playoffs. They're up and down. One game, JR's dropping 25.
Next day,
he's
7.
over 25.
Right.
So,
over 20.
Ain't making no threes, no jumpers, nothing.
Taking terrible shots at that. So it all relies on them, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. But what's your pick?
I'm going with.
Don't do it. Oh, don't do it.
San Antonio
don't do
Spurs.
it.
Oh, my
Ooh.
They're going to go back-to-back for the first time.
Ooh.
But, just like you said, if Tony Parker is healthy. Now,
True,
he's
pretty
looking
much.
healthy. Just last night, he scored 27 points against Houston.
But can he keep
27.
that up? Can he
Did
keep
they
that
get
up?
the
Can he
win,
be
though?
consistent?
Yes, they won.
Okay,
Of
but
course
can
they
he be
won.
consistent now? Can he be consistent?
Of course they won. But, like I said, you can never count the Spurs out.
Yes.
Every year.
Man, look, I'm counting them out.
Every year.
Look, first round they're
you
out.
Count them out.
First round they're out.
But sometimes it's just about getting hot at the right time, and they're doing just that. Since they lost to the Knicks a couple weeks ago, they're 12-1, 17-3 in their last 20 games, and they've won 9 in a row now. Kawhi Leonard is just balling right now.
I swear, people are saying his name just like LeBron.
Hey, but with good reason. He's been averaging over 20 points during the stretch. And they have championship experience from last couple years.
From
Yeah,
like
they
a
have.
decade ago.
Well, just last year they had.
But I mean,
Kawhi Leonard was on that team. Danny Green was on
yes,
that team.
yes.
Patty Mills.
They pretty
So,
much
I
have
mean,
everybody back.
Exactly. They brought back.
And
pretty
also
much
the
same team.
trio
But I mean,
continues.
when you talk about the Spurs, there's no doubt the championship experience is there.
Yeah.
Right.
Come on.
I mean,
now,
haven't
so
they won like 5 rings together? Just them 3 alone?
Right,
something
exactly.
Like that.
Tim Duncan still top 10 power forward in this league, if you ask me.
Definitely.
Parker, to me, still at least top 10, top 15 point guard. Ginobili, top 10,
No.
6 man.
No, he's not.
Name 9 better than him.
I can't right now, but I just know he's not. Look, this is all I got to say about the Spurs. When I get of age, I need to know what youth juice they sipping on right now. Because I'm going to need that. I know I'm going to need that. But the reason why I don't have the Spurs going back to the championship is just because of the fact that the West is too tough this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Last year, everybody knows the West is better than the East.
Pretty much.
But the West is just, this year, it's ridiculous. I mean, we don't even know if the Thunder are going to be in the playoffs.
I mean, they still have a
Right.
chance. They're pretty much a lottery pick to still make it into the playoffs. To get that
Definitely.
8th at least,
Definitely.
maybe even the 7th
I
seed.
mean, them and the Thunder and the Pelicans are teeter-tottering for that
Right,
spot
exactly.
right
Russell
now.
Westbrook keep playing the way he plays too.
And just this the thing though. The reason why back to the Spurs though. The reason why I don't have the Spurs making it to the finals is
Right.
due to the fact that they have to play the Grizzlies in the first round. If the playoffs start today, they
Yeah.
will be playing
Right.
the Grizzlies.
They are one
And
of those
the
dangerous
Grizzlies,
teams.
Everybody knows the Grizzlies are a force to be reckoned with. They're third
Right.
in the West for a reason.
Right.
Yeah.
They'll
I
beat
feel
each
like
other
that's
up.
I feel like that's gonna go to 6 or 7 games. It's definitely gonna wear them out.
It
and
is.
then after that, they would have, from what I'm predicting, Houston, because Houston plays the Mavericks in the first round. I have Houston coming out in
Right.
5
Of course.
games. So they would play Houston. And even though you just mentioned they just beat Houston, can they do it in 7 games?
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't
You
think
really
so.
They only have to win one game
coming
on the road.
Coming off a 6 to 7 game series from the Grizzlies?
Yeah.
Yes, because
They're going
last
to be
time-
worn out though.
Think about this. Last time the Spurs played Memphis in the playoffs, they swept them.
But Memphis wasn't
So
in
it
the
doesn't even have
the
to-
position that they are right now though.
They still have Gasol. They still have Zach.
But I'm
Randolph.
saying like
They
they're.
still have Conley.
But I
I'm
feel like
saying
their
is
competition
when
level
the
is better
Spurs-
this year than
yeah,
last year.
definitely. That's a good point. 'Cause when
But
the
they're
Spurs
still pretty much
played
the
them-
same team, minus they I think they switched head coaches since then.
Yeah, that's it.
There you
and
go.
they're better.
There you go. It was
the
the
Grizzlies
coach.
have a better record than the Spurs this year. Last year it was the other way around.
Spurs was like what, top 3 last year?
Something like that. I know
they was right there with OKC.
Like top 5 or something
yeah,
like
right
that.
there with OKC and everything.
Who?
The Spurs.
If I'm not mistaken.
Spurs were, I believe, the number 1 or 2 seed last year.
They're always coming in the number 1 or 2 seeds. This year's the first time they actually fallen down to the 6 seed.
And you know why? That age catching up to them.
And because one of their best players, Kawhi Leonard, and Tony Parker have been in and out of the lineup this season.
Exactly.
Yes.
And this is why.
But they pretty much was like that last season. They didn't show up until like when they started playing Miami.
But they had a little extra vendetta against Miami, boy.
I don't think so.
The season before.
That was bad blood.
They were supposed to win that. But, I mean, they still have other players that could play. Danny Green, Patty Mills, Corey Joseph, all shoot lights out. Don't forget about old man, gray hair, Boris Diaw, still somehow getting on the court.
Somehow being effective on the
court. Exactly.
Yeah.
He's still effective for some reason. I don't know why or how he does it. But maybe he's drinking that youth juice that they got over there.
That youth ain't got no juice.
But you were saying that OKC was, if they got into the playoffs, and you thought that they might beat Golden State.
I'm not saying
they could give them a good run.
They could give them a good run, but if they just so happen to beat Golden State, for one, I wouldn't be shocked. That's one.
Right.
I wouldn't be shocked. And for two, if they beat Golden State, man, who else better gonna be in their way?
Spurs?
I don't see it.
Spurs.
The Golden State Warriors are a better team than the Spurs.
No, they're not.
Yes, I think so. Especially with Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry together.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I still think that the Spurs can beat anybody. They could beat anybody at least one time on the road. And that's what they're going to have to do being in the 6th seed. But they're still only about 2 to 3 games out of the 3rd seed. So, I mean, they can still even move up and get home court advantage, at least in the first round of the playoffs.
I don't see it. Well, speaking of the Warriors, I mean, that was my pick. I think the Warriors have a better, pretty much are going to make it to the finals. I mean, they're leading the conference by, 10 games over the 2nd seed right now? I mean, you have Curry and Thompson who have combined 355 triples this season, just from the three-point line alone, those points. So, I mean, and then they're ranked 1st and 3rd, respectively, in made threes across the league. The Warriors starting 5, you have Curry, Thompson, Green, Harrison Barnes, and Andrew Bogut. I mean, they has a league best plus of 19.2 net rating, averaging 113.8 points per 100 possessions offensively. I mean,
with no championship experience.
And I mean, the lowest points they ever scored was probably like 97.
Bang, shots.
I mean, against the team, they be shooting out. They be shutting down these other teams.
I mean, they shut down the teams with championship experience.
I mean,
they have a chance.
I mean, they've been consistent since last season.
Regardless, in a 7-game series, they have a chance. They're not coming in as the underdog.
7-game
they're already.
Series, all things
they're pretty much coming in how Kentucky.
You play the same day. You get enough. You get the same amount of rest.
Okay.
You get the same amount of rest each team. So,
look,
are you trying to say the Spurs can't beat anybody on the road at least one time?
I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is Golden State going into every playoff series, every game, they're going to be looked at as the guys to win.
And you don't know if you don't know how they're going to handle that. Because they've never been the man, the team that everybody's expecting. They never had these type of expectations to make it all the way to the finals.
Well, you know what? Since December, they've had that expectation, and you know what?
Right.
They weren't even supposed to continue having the #1 seed by the time of this season.
But you know what? They still have it.
And look at that. And Curry still, and Klay Thompson still making them threes.
Chef Curry for
still
MVP.
balling. Chef Curry with the shot.
All right. Paul George returned to the Pacers lineup. First time since horrific leg injury. Last summer, do you guys think he should have came back so soon?
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
Like, really though. Seriously, like, why?
Right.
I wish I could just sit down to Paul George and what made you want to come back now?
Why now?
Your team, okay. Now, most people be like, oh, why you getting on Paul George? You always get on Derrick Rose because he never came back. He didn't come. I got on Derrick Rose due to him not coming back because his team was in the playoffs.
Right.
It's the playoffs.
Well, but I mean, I think that is the perfect time for him to come back to help his team get in the playoffs. I mean, they're in a 6-way battle right now to still make it to playoffs.
Excuse my grammar. Ain't no kind of way that Indiana Pacers
here you go with this nonsense.
Get into the playoffs. Ain't no kind of way.
It can help push them over to get into the play. At least the 8th or 7th seed.
They're in the
pretty much the
8th. They're in the 10th seed.
I understand.
They have that 10th seed on lock.
Well, I can't think of any other reason that he would want to come back besides he still wants to try to prove to himself that he can play at an NBA level. Like you said, his team has no shot at making the playoffs. So it's just they're basically playing scrimmage pickup games. So why not go out there and test your leg a little bit?
When he was out there, he only dropped 13 points, two rebounds, 2 assists. Might I add, he did it in 15 minutes playing time. So some people are like, oh, well, you might still have it. But if you actually watch that game and see him running up the floor, like, you can look at him and tell he doesn't look like natural, you know?
Right.
It's not
it's the first game back since the injury.
I understand it's the first I understand it's the first game back, but come on now. If you're that nervous, man, just wait till next year.
I think the Pacers still have a chance. I mean, if Brooklyn and Boston still, don't continue being constant and winning, they can drop out and Pacers could get in, the Miami Heat could get in, so you never know. You never know. I mean, it's 2 weeks into the playoffs. Anything can happen. It's the NBA.
I wouldn't have come back. But I think that this shows a lot about his character, shows a lot about him as a teammate. Anything that he can do, he's willing to do for the team, even if that means coming back a tad bit early from a broken leg.
Yeah.
Man, look, I don't know why Larry
that
Bird
bone was not
I don't know why. Because, what if he get injured within these 2 weeks?
Right.
Now, whose fault is that? They're not going to blame Paul George.
At the end of the day, he still came back. That's like Kobe. Look at all the injuries Kobe Bryant went through. And he still came back and did what he had to do.
But you know what? Unless Paul George develops that Kobe mentality, it's not going to be okay.
I mean, Paul George is not that old. He's very young still. He's still...
I mean,
maybe this is the
still
first
fresh
step,
into the league.
Maybe it's the first step.
Maybe
it's the first step to him breaking you again.
Oh my goodness! Now why? Come on now. But you got to think about it. This is the NBA. They're at a professional level, so it's not like college. Okay, you can sit out a year, won't hurt you very much. But this is the professionals. Like, come on, you gotta already be ready to come back and play and be that one-star player that you are for your team.
Man, look, all I gotta say.
Kobe did it.
He said himself. Every step he took on that court, when he came back for that game, he thought about the injury. That means you do not need to be out there. That means he's not developing that Kobe mentality.
Okay, but you're saying...
he's still thinking about it, and it's the past. Kobe Bryant's like, man, look, I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to see if I can beat this thing. He looks at it as a challenge. Paul George is looking at it like, oh, I don't want to break it again.
Okay, that's kind of like Russell Westbrook. When he broke his face. What did he still do?
And what he do? Right back
and still attacks every game. And don't you think he would be scared? He still be hitting the ground. Don't you ever think? Don't you ever think he thinks about snap, hitting the ground face first?
But Westbrook did it with the Kobe mentality. Paul George didn't do it with a Kobe mentality.
But that's the first. That's probably the first step to get to the Kobe mentality.
First step is getting back out there. If you fall off your bike, what do?
Get right back up and get on it.
You take a little minute. You get cuts healed up. Put the Neosporin on it.
Oh my God! Put the little Band-Aid.
Put the Band-Aid on it. Then you get back out there.
Then you get back out there.
Then you get back up there. Well, that's him falling off the bike. We gotta look at it like that.
Right.
Maybe so.
Hey, a point a minute, almost a point a minute. Not that bad.
Almost a point a minute.
13 points in 15 minutes.
Did you see his jump shot though? It looked like he was pulling up off 1 foot.
He was like.
Come on now, he was like pulling off his good leg, like, ooh.
He's like, I got one more. I got one left.
I got one left. Let me use it. Let me use it to the best of my ability.
Okay.
So, who's in front of the Pacers? I know it's Boston.
Oh, right now.
And Miami?
I believe Miami's in.
So who do you think gets the AC?
Who do you think is
in the East? You think Boston's gonna get it?
I think Boston.
I don't know. I think Boston might fall off, and Miami might get it.
I think Miami might get it too.
Yeah, Miami could get in there. They're one game behind Boston though.
Right.
So if they maintain the winning streak, then maybe Boston could keep up with the 8 seed. But if they don't, and Miami, they on the move. They're getting that spot. They're trying. They're fighting for that spot.
At the trade deadline to try to make a push for the playoffs by picking up Dragic and So I mean, I think that
they have supporting roles that could step up too.
Team to me
Even with
Boston, like I just don't believe in Boston.
No,
and it's not just because I'm from LA. Because you like to pull the geographic card.
That's it.
But I just.
But it is true. You guys from LA do not like Boston Celtics. I mean, you guys were in the championship 2 years back to back. And it's like.
You'll never see me wearing green either.
Oh my gosh, never.
Never.
You sure?
Not even on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh.
Don't pinch me.
Oh my. But look, man, I have faith in Boston. I think they're gonna get it done.
And I got faith OKC is gonna get it done too in the West.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see, though. We'll see. But this week, we got a great top 5 coming at you right now. Check it out.
All right.
Oh, it goes in! Irving from half court. Incredible! What a three-point performance here this afternoon from the Cavaliers. James fires to Smith. Smith puts it up. Oh, he puts it in! J.R. Smith at the buzzer! Caps off a tremendous first half. What a perfectly executed play. The pass right on target, Mark.
Oh, absolutely great execution coming out of the timeout. This is a design play.
Nicholson. Victor Oladipo. That was special.
David, he can help his teammates, but he can also help himself. Let the young guy get up there and stick that one back in.
Tell me what your memory is. When you first walk in here, you haven't been here in a while, but when you come into this building, tell me what first comes to your mind as you look at Styles.
That was a great play by Derek Williams. I mean, he's another guy who could change his identity next year under George Karl. George Karl will make him accountable.
Jeff Green on the attack. Oh, Jeff Green with the poster. That was nasty. Oh, my. The Grizzlies bench explodes. The fans on their feet, and the Grizzlies within 3. Jeff with 6. They've just replayed it on the video board here, and it gets another good reaction. Ben Oldry turned the wrong way. Jeff Green has announced his presence with authority.
Ooh, Jeff Green.
Jeff.
You know who that was? You know who he played for? You know who he used to play for?
Boston.
Boston.
You know, he played before that?
The Thunder.
Yeah, you.
The Thunder. I remember that.
Dang.
But hey, you catch my boy Alfred Payton up there.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't even notice who that was.
Dominique said she wanted to comb his hair.
Yeah.
You think you let him do it?
He looked like the weekday.
Hey man, that's your rookie of the year candidate, man.
Yeah, why you gonna do it like that?
He looks like the weekday.
Oh my God. Well, that's all we have for today's show. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BCU Sports Corner from Timothy White Jr. and Felix Reyes Jr. and myself, Dominique Williams. Thank you for watching, and remember, keep sports in your corner.
You know it. Shout out to my man Martin. That was his joke.
Put your blockers on before you get blind. Wildcats gon' win.